Hi, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today's the 23rd of June, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. And I have something to brief you on, and here we go. All right, I haven't had anything happening in several weeks now. The last word that we got was from our judge here in Cadillac, Judge Fagerman, that we would not be compensated for the damages that the Department of Natural Resources caused to us and our business as a result of their declaratory ruling, the invasive species order. And that was kind of a blow. But the latest thing that has came out last Monday. I did not receive word of it until Saturday night, this last Saturday night. So the DNR put it out, and they were very quiet about it. They didn't do any kind of press release. And what it is, it's a letter right here. It's available at the DNR's website. You got to look around for it. And here it is. I'm going to read it. On December 13th, 2011, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, in response to a request by the Michigan Animal Farmers Association, issued a declaratory ruling. Effective immediately, the December 13th, 2011 declaratory ruling is rescinded. Okay, so this scrap has gone on for 3 years. They would not listen to us. They would not answer our phone calls. They would not show down with us in a court of law. And they received so much input from you all out there that they rescinded it. This letter comes from a man by the name of Keith Cray. He's the director of the Department of Natural Resources. He works directly for Governor Snyder. Okay? So for 3 years this has gone on, cost the state millions of dollars, all right, just to do this operation. It's cost my family dearly. It's cost those around me dearly, and it's cost the American citizens dearly, because they take money from you to use on me, and then you guys donated money to our legal defense fund, where if I didn't have it, they would have just put me out of business, and it would have been quick. So this is our government, all right? And let me recap a little bit. The invasive species order is based on a lie, all right? These people are lying to you. They're telling you that we have a problem in the state of Michigan with feral swine. And as I've said many, many times, do you ever see them? Do you see them eating on dead deer on the side of the road? You would if they were there, but you don't see them. And we have a shoot on site here in Michigan, and we have plenty of people that like to shoot things in the woods. It's not a problem. But they issued this declaratory ruling, and the declaratory ruling is designed to help explain the invasive species order. And in the declaratory ruling, they gave 9 characteristics, and if your pig has even one of them, your pig is illegal. And you remember, it was straight tails, curly tails, black pigs, brown pigs, red pigs, floppy-eared pigs, straight-eared pigs. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And you guys stepped forward and saw what was going on here and donated to the Legal Defense Fund, which without it, we could not have done it. We could not have done it. The state has an unlimited supply of money that they take from you, and then you guys had to cough up money for our legal defense. We had to pay a lot of money to defend ourselves, to keep the business going. But we felt it was our duty as freedom-loving Americans to do that, because if the Department of Natural Resources can decide that a pig with a straight tail or a curly tail is illegal, where does that stop? You know, when will they have enough? When will they take enough stuff away from you? So that's why we fought them. We won. In a court of law, it was found to be unconstitutional per the Fifth Amendment. Very easy to understand. Your property is protected under due process of law. The declaratory ruling, some yahoos at the DNR declaring that your property is illegal, is not due process of law. This would have to go through the legislature in order to become law. But they play the game, and they have the armed agents, and they have a lot of authority. And so people just depopulated their animals. And but now, after all that time, they've rescinded the declaratory ruling. But let me go on with this, because you may be jumping for joy, but it's not good. It's not good. Here we go. In issuing the declaratory ruling, the DNR sought to clarify application of the invasive species order, prohibiting possession of Russian boar and Russian boar hybrids, okay, to members of the Michigan Animal Farmers Association, as well as the general public, and to provide guidance on how to differentiate animals covered by the invasive species orders from animals not covered under the invasive species order. The DNR has received many calls and emails related to the declaratory ruling. That's you guys. Many in the public have confused, okay, so we've confused the declaratory ruling with the invasive species order, misread it as interpreting the invasive species order to apply to animals other than Russian boar and their hybrids. We misread straight tails, curly tails. Okay. Recently, a state court judge expressed a similar confusion. So, Judge Sulka, you're confused. Let's get you straightened out here. Invasive Species Order Number 1 of 2011 only prohibits Sus scrofa Linnaeus, more commonly known as Russian boar and their hybrids. The Invasive Species Order does not prohibit separate species, Sus domestica, which is species most often used in pork production and in Michigan. And get this, the species Sus domestica includes pigs like Mangalitsa, first on the list, those are my pigs, Duroc, Yorkshire, and Hampshire. Okay? Given the public feedback and the recent court ruling, I requested a review of the declaratory ruling. Thank you, Keith. 3 frickin' years and all this trouble that it's caused all these families, and you decided to review it. Thank you, Keith. It is based on this review and the essential concerns, or the express concerns, that I am rescinding the declaratory ruling, effective immediately. The invasive species order remains in effect, and possession or sale of Russian boar or Russian boar hybrids is still prohibited. DNR will continue to listen to public feedback and address issues raised by the public as it moves forward with its implementation of the invasive species order. Okay. So, there's 2 things there that you need to be concerned with. First of all, it was found to be unconstitutional, right? But he's stating here they plan to move forward with implementing this. What this means is the invasive species order gives the Department of Natural Resources the right to come on private property and inspect for invasive species. You no longer have the right to tell them, leave, this is private property. All right? They've given themselves a way around your 4th Amendment. That's very, very disturbing. All right? The other part of it that you need to be concerned with here, and this is all of us, not just those of us that raise swine or farm, the invasive species order remains in effect. The possession or sale of Russian boar or hybrids of Russian boars is still prohibited. So the declaratory ruling was requested by the Michigan Animal Farmers Association, which is guys just like me, I'm not part of it, but to explain the invasive species order. Because everybody knows that the Russian wild boar is the rootstock of every pig on the planet. That's where all pigs come from. They come from a wild animal. And we don't have them here in the States. They have them in Russia. They have them in the Pacific Rim, certain places. So they're captured and then they're domesticated. And that was done, 3,000 years ago. That's not now. Don't confuse this with feral swine. And that, the initial concern that the DNR said they had was feral swine. Now, feral swine can be any kind of pig. It could be a Mangalitsa, Yorkshire, Duroc, any kind of pig. And being feral is a state of existence. All right? It first has to be a domestic pig that either escapes or is abandoned. And then it rewilds itself. And it doesn't have to be in the woods. it could be in Detroit, and they're probably it'd probably be more likely of them being there because you can't shoot guns there. If there was ever a pig wandering around where I live, man, people would zap that thing so fast it'd make your head spin. All right, so all the complaining that you guys did, it doesn't matter. They just rescinded the declaratory ruling, but they're going to press ahead with the invasive species order. Okay. You should be outraged. And we thought this was pretty well behind us. But we can see that it is not behind us. It is not even close to being behind us. Your governor, your attorney general, they really don't care what you say. So it is time to pull the gloves off again. Okay? I've had enough of it. I certainly have. But as freedom-loving Americans, we have to do everything that we can to resist. This is basically tyranny. It is tyranny. You have a department within the state government that's saying that we're going to do this because we friggin' say so. And that's it. There is no due process of law involved here, and that is illegal. Your attorney general should have put the kibosh to this a long time ago, and your governor should never have allowed his department. Keith Cray works directly for him. This was started up under a different department director, but it's still Keith Cray should have put the stops to this. So this is what we need to do. Okay. We need to get ourselves in the frame of mind that we are starting all over again. All right. I've had enough. Been through 3 years of this, and I'm trying to raise a family and run a farm and make a living, and I'm having to do all this. But I still will not allow people to tread on a constitution that I have acquaintances, friends, and comrades who have given their life for that constitution. I will not allow that. All right, so I'm not going to give up. And I don't think you are too. So let's start from square one, okay? I'm giving you the briefing now that we are going back into battle. This time we need to get the gloves off soon. When I started this, I said that this is done legally, and dollars are our ammunition. That's how we make this work. The dollars that we use to make this work for the last 3 years in a court of law all came in 5 and 10, 20s, hundreds. There was a couple of $1,000 donations, but it was all fairly small increments, but they just kept coming. And we were able to direct those funds into the proper area and make things work. We need to do it again. And we need to be prepared to do it again and again. Okay? That's the price of freedom. That is the price of freedom. These guys have nothing better to do all day long. They're very well funded. They have made sure that they get additional funding every year. Do you know that they just hired 300 new conservation officers? And they did that so that they could enforce this. That's why they did it. They didn't think that we would be able to stand in their way as good as we did. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off here, but I just want to let you know that we are going back to it. And I'm going to need people to redouble their efforts. The Achilles heel right now that our adversary has, and they know it, and they know we know it. Snyder, your illustrious governor, and Schuette, they're both up for re-election. All right? They can't go anyplace without the public saying to them, hey, what about this feral swine thing? When are you going to make things right with the families that you've decimated? When are you going to do that? And they hate it. So we have got to, this is just one of the things we have to do, but we've got to hit those phones again. Now, I put out a video, 1,000 people see it in about 4 days, right? If every one of you would get on the phone and call the governor's office and say, we are not going to relent until you get this straightened out and do right by these citizens that are our brothers and sisters, right? These people, the governor and the likes of these people that have risen to the position of power, they need to know that the public bites. And once they bite, they're like a pit bull. They never let go. Okay? So we're going back into it. I'm going to keep this short, but I want everybody to get pumped up over this and ready to go again. I'll be back with more information when the time is right. Information's coming in all the time. There's a lot going on with this, and you've got to wonder why they are pouring so much effort into an invasive species order for a species of animal that we don't even have in this state. You know, we don't even have them here. The foolishness of this is unbelievable, but they're going to spend a lot of money to defend their position. It's your money, though. Okay, this is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Get ready.